Hey there, hi, welcome to the channel. I am Garrett and thank you for spending some time with me today because in this video, we are discussing some kitchen design mistakes that are making your kitchen look horrible, icky, nasty, and harder to take care of. The first mistake is not one that I would think my subscribers have in their home because we all have taste and style, but is something that is a major trend right now and needs to be addressed, and you can leave it to me to do so. That's brick. Brick in a kitchen. And I'm talking about a brick backsplash and a brick floor. A brick floor, I love. I adore a brick floor because there's texture there. It's interesting, it's beautiful, but the texture is the problem for it being in a kitchen. I love a brick floor outdoors. In an outdoor kitchen, love. Give it to me all day where it can be pressure washed and completely clean. In a kitchen, the texture, the grooves, the like holes and indentations in brick just make it so hard to take care of that you don't want to have it on your floor. And you definitely don't want it on your backsplash. Now the trend is to paint the brick on a backsplash, paint the brick white, and it looks so beautiful. It looks good, and I will give the girls online credit for it, okay, where the credit is due, but it looks good. That doesn't mean it functions well, and that doesn't mean you want it in your house. Like, it's gonna get so much dirt, so much dust, debris, grease stuck on it in all of the grooves. And I would say if you like to have roaches, this is for you. It's a red flag for me. It's a red flag for me, and I think that you need help. Help that I offer, you could always book a consultation with me using the link in the description box down below, where we can discuss any and all of your design and decorating needs, because you might need some professional help in the kitchen space. A little bit of help, a little bit of critique from a designer on your plan could save you a lot of hassle, heartache, time, and money in the long run. So it's worth spending a little bit of time. There's different lengths of sessions at different prices for everyone's budget, so be sure you check it out. Brick in a kitchen is not for me. It's not something I would recommend. I would rather see a flat surface. If you could use slab cut backsplash, that would be amazing. Like the same material as your countertop, take it up. It's flat, there's no lines, there's no grout lines in it, there's no texture in it. If you can't do that, oversized tile can be wonderful. Even if it's just a basic ceramic or a marble tile or something, it's better than brick, that's for sure. The next thing that is making your kitchen disgusting and dirty and vile, that is a mistake, are flat surfaces and ledges. Now, obviously in a kitchen you have flat surfaces like your countertop. There's no getting rid of that and you want as much of it as possible, but something like the top of cabinetry that doesn't extend to the ceiling. Ooh, it's a red flag for me. It's gonna get dusty, it's gonna get gross, it's disgusting, and that's not what you want. Obviously, if you are in the designing phase of your kitchen and you're planning it out, great, take the cabinetry to the ceiling. That works if you have like an 8, 9, 10-foot ceiling. If your ceilings are higher than that, maybe you stagger the heights of the cabinetry to create some interest there. But you know, there are little tips and tricks, a hack that my subscribers have shared with me in the comment section down below, because the LeChic family knows where it is at, and if you're not a part of it, ooh, that's another red flag, but we'll address that later. They have recommended to me to recommend to you who needs help, not them, not me, also beside the point, that you could take newspaper and put it on the top of your cabinetry where you can't see. That way, the dust, the debris, the grease, the grime falls onto the newspaper. You can scoop it all up, bundle it up, toss it. You could do that every month, every couple of months, and that way it's nice and clean and sanitary and not vile. I think that's a great idea. Now, something I hear often in the comment section whenever I talk about this is people that are just like, oh, I don't clean that. Something is wrong with you. I don't like that. It's gross. And all of the dust and everything that's built up on top of that cabinetry there, let me just inform you that when the air conditioning kicks on, when the heater comes on, when you have the windows open and there's a nice breeze, where do you think all of the dust is going? In my home, the air is fresh, it's clean, it smells great, and it's safe to breathe. But when you have dust all in the air and you could see it, ooh, you don't want to be in that situation. So clean those spaces. Something else worth mentioning when we're talking about ledges and flat surfaces are trim details in your cabinetry doors and other areas of your home. They will all get dust built on them. You have to determine what you're willing to sacrifice, okay? Maybe you really like those trim details, but they are going to need dusting. If you have, doors with paneling on them in your house, they get dust on them. Baseboards get dust on them. It happens, it's expected in a home, but you just have to be sure you're thinking about it and saying, okay, how much of this am I willing to take care of and how much of this do I just want to design out of the kitchen? Sometimes you're like, nope, don't want any of it, take it flat panels, I don't want to dust, I don't want to wipe that stuff down. Like, maybe you don't want to deal with it, that's okay. Just be mindful of the fact that it will have to be cleaned in your kitchen. It is high maintenance, and if it's not taken care of, It will look gross and disgusting. We will see it. I will know. I will come into your house with a black light and inspect it. And you just need to be aware of that because it's disgusting. Okay, something exists in your home that is high maintenance and you need to be aware of. Maybe you can't get away from it. That's okay, but you just need to know it exists. And you know, I'm not telling you have to gut your kitchen and do all of this stuff so that it's like this perfect that fits this design narrative I have. I'm just informing you. I'm giving you the facts. So, you know, you're aware of them. You can advise other people. You can give good advice. Or you could avoid them in the next time you're looking for a home or you're purchasing one or you're designing a space. Great. What we have to talk about is grout lines. Grout lines are going to get dirty. They will look dirty. That happens. And the more grout lines you have, the more you have to clean them, right? The bigger they are, the more grout there is, the more cleaning it has to be done. The smaller the grout lines, the cleaner it's going to look because there's less grout lines and there's less cleaning to do. Whether that is on your countertop, on your backsplash, or your floor. I don't love a tiled countertop and I'm not gonna recommend you put that into your home. Obviously, I'd rather see you do a solid surface. But, you know, if you have like a historic home with a quaint little tiled countertop moment in the kitchen, keep it, it's beautiful and I love it. You know, think about the fact that it has to be clean though. So when you're doing your backsplash, you're doing your floor, thinner grout lines are best. If you can do a solid slab on the backsplash, no grout lines there, easy to wipe down and clean, and I love that. Grout lines are going to have to be cleaned, so what can you do about that? One is make them thinner. The thinnest they can be is fine. Having wide grout lines isn't necessarily going to, you know, make it more durable or sturdy or whatever. Like, you're really just filling in the gap of space in the tile with grout. Like, that's all it really is. So think on that and go thinner if you can. When you're laying tile, if it's a square tile, don't give it to me in just like a basic little grid pattern, okay? Nobody likes that. Lay it at a 45. Give me like a diamond shaped pattern. It creates interest. It breaks up a lot of the 90-degree angles that we often see in kitchens, and it's something to think about. Grout lines, something to consider because they can look a mess and be disgusting if they're not taken care of properly. You might need to get you some soft scrub with bleach honey and go in with a scrubbing brush and clean all of them because I will notice, and so will everyone else. Another design mistake in your kitchen that could be making it look dirty and gross and just being high maintenance is a drywall island. You all know what I'm talking about. Builders today, they don't want to do these custom cabinet islands in the middle of kitchen. Everybody likes to have an island in their kitchen, which is great, but a lot of them are wrapped in drywall, and that's okay, but drywall is going to show marks and scuffs, and you know, you'll get color transfer from denim on it too. So you have to think about what finish it has on it and what type of paint. Also, maybe drywall isn't the option for you and you want to cover that up. Let's talk about it. So many builders use like chalky flat paint, which is like literally if you look at it, it's gonna get a scuff on it. You don't want that on your island because it's very high maintenance. If you're doing a flat paint, it needs to be very high quality so it has a velvety texture and is actually cleanable. Something to think about there, especially if you have white, like it's so popular right now. Everybody likes white walls in their kitchen and everything. A white island where people are gonna sit with their shoes, it could, you know, really look bad very quickly. Something else you could do is consider paneling that in wood to match your cabinetry, or something like beadboard, shiplap. You could do a tongue and groove. There are lots of options out there that you could panel an island with that would eliminate a lot of people kicking the drywall. Cabinetry could be there. You might get away with that too, but people could potentially kick it and open the cabinets and you have stuff in there it's difficult to get to. Think on that. Something else worth considering is maybe metal or stone. That could have a very luxury look and is easy to wipe clean because it is very flat and very smooth. You know, something I love is a multi-tone kitchen, and you could take advantage of having an island and paint it something really interesting. Black paint is like the current biggest trend right now. So maybe you paint your island in black and it could be a contrast. You could paint it in a color. Lots of people love a blue island in their kitchen. I have a fabulous client who we're working together to design her kitchen. She's doing blue with like this gorgeous blue stone. Oh, love it so much. That's something to think about too. You could even do a neutral, a taupe, a tan, a beige tone. Something slightly darker with more color to it will hide a lot of the wear and tear that area is going to get. But it might also just be worth having a magic clean eraser sponge in your home that you just wipe that down every time someone's coming over, and that could be good enough for you. But that island, that drywall island, it could definitely look dirty very quickly. That's an area in your home that's very high maintenance. think about what you can do to manage that and reduce the amount of cleaning you have to do on that space as much as possible. You see, I love that tip, and I'm always looking out for you. I'm always looking out for the LeChic family. So if you haven't already, you should hit the subscribe button, because at this point, I would consider this part of your life like pre-LeChic, and so I would say that's a mistake. Now you can correct that. Hit the subscribe button. Don't be fake. Join us. You have seen the value in this content, and I know you're enjoying it and the view. So be sure you hit subscribe, join us, and give this video a like. I would greatly appreciate it, and so would the rest of the LeChic family. I mean, listen, we're not anywhere near it, but I would appreciate you helping us grow to get to that 1 million subscriber mark. One mistake you can make in your kitchen that is going to make it look gross and disgusting and dirty, and we will all see instantly, is glass light fixtures, specifically those that project upward or allow dust to be trapped in them or on them. Ooh, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. Kitchens, like you're cooking in it, it's getting grease in the air, your vent hood's probably not gonna suck all of that up, and that's okay, but it's gonna look a mess. And we want to minimize the mess as much as possible. So eliminating those glass finishes in your kitchen where that dust and dirt and grime can build up is essential, especially on light fixtures. I actually lived in a house here in Las Vegas where we had a scorpion get into one of the light fixtures. I don't know how, okay? We had our house sprayed for scorpions too, honey, because I don't mess with the bugs. You don't want any of that. So be sure if you are putting lights into your kitchen, they don't have a lot of surface for grime, dirt, dust, debris, or bugs to get into or on, because it is going to show. When you flick the lights on, the dust is gonna be reflected on the ceiling. See the shadows of it everywhere? It's not cute, honey. It's not cute. It doesn't look good. We can see all of the dust on there. So when I am recommending light fixtures for a kitchen, specifically I like lantern style fixtures. I think they blend into just about every style beautifully, whether you have, like an English cottage style, you have a coastal style, like they blend in so beautifully. They look so good. And I have a client who has 12-foot ceilings, okay? And she's not gonna get up there and clean those light fixtures. So when we designed her lighting scheme, we chose all lantern style fixtures that are very open in her kitchen, and those areas that she can't get to clean them. And they look beautiful. And you know who you are, honey. I love that for you. But it's essential to be able to clean those things or have them be at a point where they don't have to be cleaned all of the time and they're not going to look dirty all of the time. Light fixtures should be a statement, a focal point in your home. And us looking at the focal point and it being covered in dust is kind of disgusting and gross. And it's a red flag. It's not going to look good for you. So let's avoid it. Another design mistake that is probably making your kitchen look gross, disgusting, nasty, and vile that you need to know about has to do with flat surfaces in your kitchen, specifically those open shelves. Now, I know it's a big trend and a lot of people love it. I have clients that love it and they really want it. And I'm gonna sit there and say to them, listen, this is what it takes to have open shelves, but they will get dust on them and the things on them will also get dusty. So let's address how to do open shelves, make it work, make it look good, and avoid it being like gross. I will tell you right off the bat, stunning. I love open shelves in a kitchen. Visually, the look is so good. Having open shelves in your kitchen mean that everything on the shelves are kind of gonna get some dust on them and you're going to see absolutely everything you have. You have to have beautiful pieces that are styled well and look good so it doesn't feel cluttered or messy to have open shelves. When you have them, they have to be dusted. So the things on them also have to be dusted. And the same thing goes for the countertops in your kitchen. We all have them. And so you always have like one corner where it's like decor or something interesting there and it gets like dusty and dirty that you're constantly having to wipe it off and clean it down and like all of that. The same thing is gonna happen with those open shelves. You really need to put things on those shelves that you use quite often, that are constantly getting rotated through. That way they're always clean, they're always getting cleaned, and that you can just take a plate off the shelf and use it instead of having to take a plate off and being like, ooh, I haven't used this one in 6 months, let's go rinse it off because it's covered in grime and debris. That's disgusting and nobody wants to see that. The least amount of work you have to do is the best design for a kitchen, and it's something you have to think about. Now, we've talked about design mistakes that are making your kitchen look horrible, awful, disgusting, nasty, dirty, and vile, which is why I'm not coming over, but that's also beside the point. If you want to avoid design mistakes that should be illegal and avoid a jail sentence, I suggest you check this video out right over here because unless you want to hire an attorney to deal with it, I suggest you avoid those mistakes. Be sure you check it out right over here and I will see you over there.